Hi everybody. I am going to talk about Lush Life, obviously, this week, and like you guys, I have spent pretty much all week commiserating with you about how hard this book was to read and how hard it was to get into and who were the characters and what's going on, and it was so confusing. It was very painful, actually. It was one of those weeks where I really needed an uplifting, kind of happy book, and this book really just kind of depressed me, and I couldn't stand reading it, but the more time I've spent away from the book now, and now that I'm into Maltese Falcon, I'm able to kind of look back on it a little bit and kind of appreciate it for how the book was written and the effort that Price went to in writing the book. And I hadn't thought about all of that when I was reading it, and now I kind of hope that I have time to go back and read it again someday, knowing kind of all of the background. And I'm sure that I did it backwards by reading the interview with Price after I read the book and some of the background to it. But I found it really interesting how he was able to weave race and class discussions into the book and into the characters and into the little different groups of people. We had the drug dealers and the crime victims and the victims' families and the police, and I hadn't really thought when I was reading about all of that and how it overlays and overlaps. And knowing that the Lower East Side, especially in New York, is such a melting pot of people that came off the boat and how descendants of them have stayed, it was really kind of aha for me when I watched that interview with Price and was really able to appreciate how he wrote the novel. So a little more respect for it than I had earlier in the week when I was reading it. And again, I really do hope that I can get back to it someday. Obviously, it was a police procedural. I had never read one before, and as I mentioned in some of my discussion forums, I've never really even watched crime drama on TV because I hate crime and all things about it. And like with the characters in TV shows, I find it really hard to get into the characters because they're kind of all over the place, and I think that's how it was with this. And I don't know, it's just not my favorite. I also don't like knowing who committed the crime early on and then waiting for them to figure it out. It seems like it just drags on and on. But for the genre it is, and for the type of crime fiction it was, I really can appreciate it. And I don't know that I could ever write something like that. And I think Kathy mentioned that if she was the editor of this book and it had been presented to her, gosh, she would have just denied it. And I think that we think that reading it, but there really is so much underneath, so many layers that we probably aren't seeing. So that was kind of, again, my aha moment for the week. Just really stepping back from the assignment of reading the book and then getting into what was behind the book and under the book and hidden in the walls and everything. So it was really kind of interesting from that vantage point. So Maltese Falcon is really cool. I'm really into that book, and I'm just moving right along, and it's really fun. So thanks for all the great discussion this week, and I hope you have a great weekend.